I guess it was about 12:30. All hell broke loose. I mean, and with no warning, I didn't have the TV on or anything. I was smooth asleep. Next thing I know, lights out, and it sounds like a bomb went off outside. I mean, it's just stuff strode everywhere. I jump up, get my clothes and boots on, kind of open the back door because I've got my phone going around, no power, and I didn't go check on. I mean, I didn't check on anybody. The house was okay.
Yeah.
But I opened that back door, and it just looked like somebody exploded a tree. I mean, there was stuff. All the vehicles were covered. Y'all can still see a lot of that debris out here at the house. And I kind of eased around. I wasn't going to panic anybody. I made sure everybody was kind of all right. Their bedroom doors were closed. I didn't hear no kids screaming. And then Tyler texted me. He's like, "Man, did you just hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah, what was it?" And he said, "There was a tornado went through." And I was like, "No way." And he was out here in the smokehouse in the pantry covered up with paper towels. He said he didn't want nothing to fall on him. Hey, welcome back to the Buck Junkies Podcast. We are back down here at the farm, and
luckily
still
we got a farm.
Man, I'm telling y'all what, we took some severe storms here last week after the podcast. I guess that was Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wednesday night when it all rolled in.
It was way rougher than I thought it was going to be.
Well, we got hit, Wednesday night and Thursday night?
It's pretty much ruined turkey hunting last week.
Yeah, I imagine most of the birds is.
What's wrong with them, Mikey? Because me and you went this morning.
Well, if they didn't get blowed off, I imagine most of them are a little spooky right now.
That's how I figured it blew them.
The terrain is all changed, and then that's got to be that's got to mess them up. You know, going through that much wind and lightning and stuff like that. It wasn't just one day. We had it. It came through Wednesday.
Wednesday
was
night.
A bad one, and then it came back
Saturday.
again this weekend.
Yep.
And we had some, pretty bad thunderstorms, wind, and
I don't know how much rain we got. I think it was over 12 inches total.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I saw a map on it. It kind of showed how the Mid-South was broke down, inches of rainfall. And there was one part of Memphis that got like 15 inches, which everything's flooded now. In the low-lying areas they've got as much water as they can take.
Yeah, up there where we trout fish out on Spring River, they got a lot of pictures. It's like really.
Man, did you see that at Hardy up there?
Yeah, the cabins are gone.
There was businesses underwater up there. Yeah. It was out in the streets of the town.
You got a report on your place up there at water?
I've got high water. I don't know how many foot it could take, but they were projecting like 37.5, and it didn't get. I think it got up to like 33 on the White where we were, which we were fine. There were some neighbors up there. I think Lawson, who they headed over this way this week, but he said they kind of watched it because there was one neighbor's house, his next door neighbor. And he said at 37, it'll be in the first floor of the house. And he said it got to about 3 foot from the actual getting to the slab. That's where it was sitting. So it didn't, and it crested. Now it's on the way back down. But man, that's a lot of water.
Yeah, I hate it for a lot of those people who's lost their homes in tornadoes and floods and things like that. It's bad.
It's terrible, man. I don't know how many homes were destroyed. Just
we're griping about trees in the road and deer stands gone and tore up. And I mean, what we got's nothing compared to what everybody else lost, from their whole house to businesses to everything.
The lives up in Selmer.
Yeah,
I mean, they got hammered up there. There were several deaths up there. I mean, we got a buddy that works with the light company up there. Man, he says it's just. They got so much work to do.
Yeah, because I talked to him Wednesday night, said, checking on him after storm went through, and that's what he said. He said he didn't talk to his boss, and his boss told him they had, be ready to put in hours with the power company, plus be ready to see some stuff you don't want to see. They had search and rescue already called in to help find people.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pitiful. I hate it. It's scary. I was down here at camp when it happened, me and Tyler. We had some guests came in last week. They had 3 small kids, his husband and his wife from Corpus Christi. We were doing some barbecue videos and a podcast. I was just letting them stay here instead of having to go to a hotel. I was like, man, I don't want them to really have to stay by themselves with I know a storm's coming, which I never thought it was going to be bad. So we went out, and they really had never been around a farm or, hunting camp or anything like that. So I kind of gave them a tour. That night, you know how we go out on the back hill back there on the big pasture, and you can watch the lightning roll in. I was like, it wasn't raining. The weather wasn't bad. We'd been to dinner and come back, went to town. And so I said, y'all want to ride out there and, watch some of the lightning? And I took them out there where Mark Plot was. or where it is, and we sat on that hill. And you could see, I mean, the storm was rolling, but it was going, normally how it works here is it'll go south of us or it'll break north of us. Usually it don't come straight at us.
Beeline.
And so we watched it, and I was explaining that to him. I was like, yeah, you can see how that storm's rolling, man. It's pushing back. It's north of us, and this one's going south, and we ain't got nothing to worry about. We turned the news on before we went to bed. This was about 10 o'clock. Turned the news on. I'd been, everybody had the weather on because they'd been breaking in and stuff, and they was like, all right, y'all are in the – pretty much said we were in the clear at about 5 a.m. I was like, it's going to get a little hairy early in the morning. So, just kind of be wary. Well, the kids had done went to bed, and his wife and Alonzo, they'd done went out. So me and Tyler went to bed. He was out here in the smokehouse. I was over in the bedroom over there. And I guess it was about 12:30. All hell broke loose. I mean, and with no warning, I didn't have the TV on or anything. I was smooth asleep. And, next thing I know, the lights out, and it sounds like a bomb went off outside. I mean, it's just stuff strode everywhere. So I jump up, get my clothes and boots on, kind of open the back door because I've got my phone going around because there's no power. And I didn't go check on – I didn't check on anybody. The house was okay. Yeah. But I opened that back door, and it just looked like somebody exploded a tree. I mean, there was stuff. All the vehicles were covered. Y'all can still see a lot of that debris out here at the house. I kind of eased around. I wasn't going to panic anybody. I made sure everybody was kind of all right. Their bedroom doors were closed. I didn't hear no kids screaming. And Tyler texted me. He's like, man, did you just hear that? And I was like, yeah, what was it? And he said, there was a tornado went through. And I was like, no way. And he was out here in the smokehouse in the pantry covered up with paper towels. He said he didn't want nothing to fall on him.
That's what Alonzo told me. He showed up the next morning and he seen Tyler. He said, bro, you got to know Alonzo. He said, bro, you was in the pantry crying. I could hear you.
So I have CPAP at night and there was no power. So I pulled up my YouTube on my phone. I could watch the YouTube TV. And I looked on the news and I saw that it was headed towards Hernando. And it was like, if you're on Robertson Gin Road or wherever, y'all need to take cover right now. That's where Rochelle and Michael were. So I'm frantically calling her because I know my wife, she's just sleeping through the whole thing. She's not paying attention. Well, look, she texted me back and was like, I'm up. I got the TV on. Michael's downstairs. We're in the safe spot or whatever. And that was like, I got another text from the game warden around here. He was like, are y'all okay? And I was like, I think so. I mean, I hadn't, been anywhere, but there's no damage on the houses or anything that I can see. I mean, it's pitch black and still raining sideways. And he was like, well, don't leave because everybody's locked in. I mean, all the trees every road was blocked. There was no way out. He said, I've cut through a field over here trying to get back to my house to make sure everything's okay. And I was like, I'll just stay put. So I went and got my CPAP machine and stayed in my truck. I just left it running. Them folks was in the house asleep. Tyler was over in the pantry over here. And I was in my truck. He said he saw lights. And I guess because he's like, next thing he know, he said he always heard that right before a tornado hits, you just see a bright flash. So he thought my headlights was a tornado coming again. So he's in there crying in the pantry. And I stayed in my truck. And about, I don't know, there was no, cell phones went down. I don't know if it hit a tower or what happened to service on that, but I couldn't text. I couldn't see anything. All I had was radio on my truck. And so and they weren't playing any news on the radio. I mean, it was nothing. I was scanning all the channels. So finally I just kind of eased back and closed my eyes. Another storm came through about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I was like, well, if it's got me, I'm just going to die in this truck, I guess. But it was just hard rain.
I mean, as much as we got, I don't really know if it's on the ground here.
Man, if it wasn't, I would have hated to see it because it was 100 yards from the shop.
Because we got stuff tore up, but yet you drop off in the bottom of Chuck's house and it's like trees are splintered.
I think it was hopping these hills and hollers. The way it was going.
It ripped the limbs and everything.
Places that are not, a few trees are over, and then we got one ridge that's just splintered up. Bad.
That's where I think it was on the ground.
And then it got off our place and went over on the other ones. And I think it was just kind of, like you were saying, it was kind of just up and down, and it would touch and it didn't really get down hard until it got over all those ridges and got out there closer towards that bottom, running that, side of that ridge.
Well, it hit right where we were sitting, watching that lightning storm 2 hours ahead.
Right through there.
Because that stand got blown.
3 stands gone right there.
I mean, they blew that stand 100 yards. I mean, it was, what do we got those big trailer
Yeah, house
anchors.
trailer anchors like 3 foot in the ground, but
Up under it. Me and Mark pulled the one or found the one that was over at the Whalen plot. And it was like you could tell where it pulled it out of the ground 3 foot. Is how far it pulled it out. And it just laid that stand over so it didn't blow it. But the one that was at where we were sitting, where Mark plot stand or whatever you call that, it blew that jugger 100 yards and there's just pieces of it everywhere. That old oak tree that was right there beside it, I mean, that was an old oak tree.
Man. Moved it a little bit. You can tell it moved it away. It didn't just break off and fall over. I mean, it pushed it up.
It picked that tree up. Yeah, it picked it up and moved it 20 yards. A big, giant tree. And that was, I don't know how many trees we lost. Hundreds.
It's in the hundreds, yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much if it was a hardwood tree, it got blowed over pretty much.
Yeah. The way it ripped through, but we lost, was there 4 stands that are just demolished? They're done? Like, there's just trash?
3 that are trashed. And then we got one that's
the old Trump, the one Jamie built.
Over, we don't know what the damage is on it yet.
And you know what? It was kind of turned at an angle. Way it sits on that hill. So if it would have been the other way, it probably would have blew it over to that next hill too. But it kind of just laid it back over. So it's probably going to be okay. But we still got, I mean, I don't know. You spent all day yesterday moving, cutting, and Will. That's what Mark's tied up today. So Will set in for us. Will ran a chainsaw all day yesterday. Mikey was on saw. Jamie, you was on skid steer.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We made a little dent in it, but still, I mean.
Got the roads open back up.
Yeah. Open the roads up first and then start getting manicure and everything else, getting it out of the field and stuff like that. But, you know, it's dangerous when you got all those trees. It ain't just like cutting a tree and dropping it on the ground. I mean, that thing's – most of those trees are twisted up and bound up into something else. And, you know, it ain't just like sawing it up. I mean, you got to saw – you like to saw through it and it not – like there were several times I hung the saw up because it was so much pressure on the end of it where it was jammed up against something else and the root ball was jammed. And when you would cut it, it would snap back together almost and pin the saw up. And man, but when that stuff comes loose, man, sometimes you cut some of them, it's bad. It's
they go to popping
as hell.
I don't know how do you recover like your woods. I mean, unless you get a timber company that come in and gets what's left salvageable out. I mean, I guess it is what it is. It's, you know, part of it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of nature. I mean, it's gonna grow back up in thickets. I mean,
if you wanted to recoup, I guess if you wanted to recoup some kind of money or something like that, you could have, you know, a logging company come in and I mean the stuff's on the ground, so they ain't got to cut it. They just they just saw the root balls off and limb them down and take them. But other than that, I mean, like us, we just get them out of the fields and let the stuff grow up around them. I mean, it's gonna be good habitat.
Oh, it's going to be great habitat. It's just going to take it some time.
Just open a lot of stuff up.
Man, you talk about creating where you can't get in it. I mean, it's going to be, you know how, so where that place you hunt, Stanley's.
Yeah, we started hunting it in 2000. And then what year was it? 2020 when that tornado come through?
Yeah.
And I can't find stuff in it that like I say, we like from 2000 up to 20 years, we hunted it. And I can go in there now and the stuff that trees I've climbed that I cannot find. I mean,
so that's been 5 years since that tornado went through there. What's those woods like now?
Shoot, Mikey helped me track that deer, and you can't. I mean, some of it you literally can't walk in still. I mean, it's some of it's done rotted and broke down, but there's so many logs on the ground you can't cross them.
Deer, rabbits, and beagles is about the only thing that go through that.
So what do you think about the state of the woods now? What's the habitat like? Are they thriving in it? Is it
right now?
I would say. Like where Mikey most time hunted was open hardwoods. Now it's so daggum, it's like cut over. It's thick. I mean, it's not.
Is it full of deer?
I've seen a good many deer in it this year. Now turkeys I know it's good habitat as far as I guess like nesting, but as far as seeing turkeys, well, you don't see turkeys in there like you used to.
See, if you could have went back in like after that tornado, let everything kind of start to establish, let that first year, which that one came in. It was later in the year, wasn't it? Or was it?
Oh, no, it's about this time in 2020, wasn't it?
So, you're going to get a lot of natural vegetation start coming up in those trees and stuff, but you're still going to get all them junk trees try to come up, sweet gum, any kind of wind-blown crap. So, it's good to go back in and burn that stuff again, and try to keep that stuff knocked back as much as possible.
So, that's going to be our plan going forward, just to run fire through it.
We're going to burn it again. As soon as we get through next year, deer hunting or whatever, we're going to light it up again. I mean, especially now that we got all that stuff down.
The bad thing is it didn't go through where we hacked and squirted the sweet gum.
Yeah, we did the sweet gum.
We wanted it to knock every one of them down, man. It spared all of them.
Come through the pretty hardwood.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't think so, but you see these big oak trees, they're old. I mean, some of them oak trees probably 50, 60, older than that. How they survive that much, and there's been storms through here before, and then you see them blowed over with the root balls sticking out of the ground. It's like, man, there's no way that could hold that
it's not a
tree.
It's weird. A pine tree will snap off, but it's got a root system on it. Oak tree will blow over, but it don't have like a real big root system on it.
I always thought, I don't know why, you see pictures of like a diagram of a tree, and it'll show the tree just as big underneath the ground as it is, but that ain't true.
No, it's not.
It ain't got that much hold on them big oak trees.
No, oaks, most of their roots are right on top of the ground too. Yeah. It ain't got, it may have some tap roots, but most of those roots are right there, just under the dirt, not far. And a lot of your other trees, they're pretty deeply rooted. Got big tap roots on them, kind of hold them in place. But
the good news is we got plenty of firewood. If you want to go in the firewood business,
give us a call.
We would have some inventory. Yeah,
so that's what. We're going to put Will on the spot. He helped run a chainsaw yesterday, and he said, man, I must have slept funny yesterday. When Will goes to the gym, Will's in good shape, and he said, man, I must have slept funny. Something's hurting on me. Like, that's what take him chainsaw.
Could you feel running that saw all day, Will?
I didn't feel it at the time. Then I woke up, and my shoulders were
yeah, they're still a little sore. Well, today, so what's the plan today? We're going to try to pick up some of them stands.
Work that soreness out of Will.
Work that soreness out.
Let the young man get on the saw.
Man.
I enjoy running the saw, but it will make you sore. I don't care if young or old, it'll make you sore.
It's hard to run a saw for, a couple hours or something like that. But we ran the saw from yesterday to 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock yesterday.
Like 4:30, yeah.
Without stopping. And, so about, 5 hours, 6 hours of running a saw and throwing logs and, climbing over stuff. And it put a toll on your body pretty quick.
Well, I'm going to tell you that grappler.
The grapple's bad.
Grapple on that skid steer comes in mighty handy.
Yeah, it's done paid for itself.
That joker, you picked up stumps that I didn't think that thing would handle.
If it wasn't so muddy, that machine it'll push what a small dozer will push. I mean, it's pretty stout.
I would definitely think if you got to do any kind of tree moving or cleaning up, that's one piece of equipment that comes in mighty handy.
Yep.
Yeah, today we'll probably just get back out there and get around our food plots, because we ain't far off of starting back planting and stuff in the next few weeks. May 1st, somewhere right in there, we'll start back planting. So we got to get everything out of the field so we can start prepping fields again. And
luckily, like as far as food plots goes, it looks like just tops.
Yeah.
Or mainly, like we don't have, there might have been a few where you got access to, like down there at Mud Hole. That was some big trees there that y'all cut yesterday.
Yeah.
Man, Mikey was on one side with what's that saw? 24-inch bar? 22 or 24 probably?
Yes, it's got 2-foot bar because I can stand up and set the bar down next to me, and it's above my waist.
And mine's got a 20-inch bar, and we was both across from each other cutting, and we still had a foot between us probably.
That's how big the tree was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, when you get them big trees down, man, that's man, if you ain't got the equipment to do that, it's a struggle. Smaller trees can blow down. It takes a little time to get them out of the way, but you got one of them big ones like we had yesterday. We had a couple of big ones, but that was the biggest one. I mean, it was.
We probably put 2 hours, just 3 hours on one tree.
Yeah, 48-inch diameter tree wasn't easy. Maybe bigger than that.
I run 2 tanks of gas out of the saw cutting that tree.
Cutting that one.
I made one cut through it, like all the way around it, and ran a tank of gas out of it.
I had to call John over at State Line Turf and Tractor and tell him I need the biggest saw, biggest bar, biggest motor he got.
Mark brought one of his.
Mark's is a pruner.
Yeah,
that's Mickey Mouse saw he got.
Did you run that with Will?
Yeah,
that was.
Will throwed it down pretty quick.
We're over.
It wasn't cutting nothing big, but for all the small stuff, it came in real handy because it's lightweight. Man, you could climb up on some of that stuff and knock off some of the little ones, get them out of the way to where you could get something done.
Yeah,
that was the big thing. It's like it's one thing if you got a tree falls down in your yard or on your property or whatever, you can manage a tree.
Yeah,
a lot of these sweet gums, they were all
They were in clusters.
36-inch bigger trees, and they were in clusters.
There's probably 4 or 5 of them in one wide.
Yeah, one wide. So, and then when it all tangles up and goes down, that's what you're talking about dangerous. It hangs up on each other, and you don't realize that the other tree's holding pressure, and you go to cut something, and there you go. It's all popping.
I was cutting one yesterday. It was bound by another tree on the end that I couldn't really see it, and when I was cutting it, and it was bigger around than your leg, and when I cut through it. I cut through the top half of it, was cut through the bottom thinking it was going to come down. When I cut through the bottom half of it, man, it like took the chainsaw with it.
Yeah.
It sprung up real hard, because it was under pressure. It's dangerous. Jamie cut one into Lincoln logs out there. We couldn't get it to come down. It had hung up, and wouldn't fall to the ground. He made 4 cuts in this limb.
It was still hung up?
2 foot apart.
Before it ever come loose, yeah.
Yeah, or about a foot apart all the way up. And it was so bound, it was not breaking. We'll finally, I think, what did you do to make it fall?
Karate kick.
I was trying to kick it.
Karate kick.
Yeah.
Y'all were kicking it, and then I just had my leg rested up on it. I didn't know you were about to cut through it.
Will went to the ground fast as the tree did.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. The thing is just you can't get frustrated and get in a huge hurry because you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Main thing is just take your time and just do what you can do, and it'll get done. Just take your time, keep whittling at it, and it'll go away eventually.
So do you, like on a farm, hunting club, are you able to insurance out your timber loss or your stand loss, or how
I don't think so. I don't know. I know, Mikey, that question come up with me.
Me and you talked about it not long ago.
Because it hit your mom and dad's place. And because your dad, didn't he just have bought 50 acres back behind them or something?
Well, they had just bought the property behind them. It's not a big piece of property. They just bought the property behind them. It was, it was kind of like this over here. It was a little bit of privet in there, but it was big hardwoods all the way through there. And all around their house, they had, I don't know how old some of them trees were around their house. And that tornado, just like back here, it came right over their house.
Twice. They had 2 of them come through.
Yeah, had 2 different tornadoes come through, and it leveled that property he had just bought. Every tree back there was on the ground.
It was just like cut over.
If it wasn't on the ground, it had snapped off halfway. Some of those sweet gums and stuff, you can see them out there sticking up. It was just a dead zone. There was nothing left. It was just gone.
So did they talk to their insurance? And
they didn't pay him for nothing.
I mean, I don't think they insure it, because it's not guaranteed income.
Because I know when Brad's place in Arkansas got hit, I want to say insurance would pay if I remember right, if the tree was on the house, they would pay to have it removed. But if it was just down like in your yard or property, they would not pay for a service to come. You're responsible for getting it up your own self.
I don't know if that falls under Act of God where it gets them out
Probably
of it.
Natural disaster.
Natural disaster.
Yeah, I don't know because you think about if you was this was a discussion we had. If you were burning a piece of property, or you had somebody logging a piece of property, and just say it got over on another property, or the logger got over there, they have to pay for each individual tree they cut down.
They can put a dollar amount on it when it comes down
Somebody
to it.
Put a dollar amount in there, or if you was burning, and just say you burned down, caught one of the old oak trees on fire, you pretty much going to have to pay for that tree if they want you to.
Or if you killed a neighbor's tree in the yard some kind of way, people can sue you for the value of that tree. Now, but they ain't going to give you that much for it to come in and rate your wood that I know of, just because a tornado goes through or wind or anything like that. It's too much. I think it's too much of a natural disaster.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure insurance ain't gonna pay.
Yeah, I mean, and to me, it's not a dollar value. It's more habitat for those animals, because I hate to lose those oak trees because they produce so much mass. Mm-hmm. But I guess you got to look at it this way: wherever those trees fell, it's letting light down now. So now you're going to get more stuff to grow.
There'll be other oak trees coming.
Yeah, there'll be other oak trees. I mean, you're going to have a ton of sweet gums.
We won't see
crap trees, but
yeah,
in our lifetimes,
We'll be down here.
Will and Michael went down in our lifetime.
Yeah,
Will maybe.
But you get the honeysuckles and the wild berries that grow, and just all the good stuff that's going to grow in there now. Because there was a lot of those areas. I mean, we ran fire through it to try to clean it up to promote growth, and we had stuff growing. Well, now you're going to watch those areas now. It's fixing to be a jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take off, and like Mikey said earlier, if we're going to have, you're pretty much forced to have to burn it, or it's just going to stay so thick you'll never be able to get back in there.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine for it to be thick, you just don't want it too thick to where animals can't maneuver through there. Yeah. And I don't.
And maybe that's a thing that we do now is we go in and trail it out.
Yeah.
Like if we could just take that mulcher and go down through, top them out, make some paths that animals could use, and let the rest grow up to where it's not like you want to make travel corridors for us, but it's like when you hinge cut, you leave egress,
They'll live for a little while laying like they are.
Oh, yeah.
Now. And the tops of those trees, those deer and turkeys.
I think that's why they're already moved in there. This morning we saw a little hen pecking through all that old stuff.
Yeah, she walked right through that junk.
I mean, she's probably looking for nesting ground or stuff's on the ground that they normally can't get to,
Yeah, if you had a piece of property that you were, using it for, cash purposes and things like that, that'd be devastating to you. But, with us, it's not as devastating. It sucks, but it kind of helped with our mission.
Our plan.
Do what we were wanting to do. I mean, our woods have opened up a lot.
We just got 2 or 3 massive bedding areas made for us without having to go in and do it ourselves.
And that was one thing that we were lacking here on this property. And we've done a couple of things to try to make that possible for the animals out there. We let some fields grow up, and we burn those back off every year, and did a little bit of hinge cutting here and there, trying to open up some woods and things like that. And it's just a slow process. Well, it's just
it got sped up that time. Yeah.
This saved us about 5-6 years worth of work, if not more.
So it's going to be ugly. That's the one thing, though, because it looks like a disaster zone. I mean, some places it looks like a bomb.
Some of the best hunting properties ugly as hell, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you want manicured up and where it looks like a golf course, it's probably not going to be the best place to hunt, is it?
No, it's not. Yeah, some of the ugliest property have been some of the best hunting I've ever been on. Not thinking there's just so. I mean, like Stanley's up there. I mean, there's some good deer up there. Now, there's always been good deer up there, but there's a pretty good abundance of them. You get somewhere you can see. Fate's killed some pretty nice deer up there the last several years.
So our plan going forward will be to let those areas grow up. I mean, you got no choice, and then just put your food sources out on the sides. And what we'll be doing is we'll be hunting the transitions.
Yeah,
where they come out of the thick stuff, come into the food sources, and we've still got some hardwoods that they can move through and everything. It's not like all the woods are totally destroyed.
No,
but it's just sections of it.
Yeah, it's just those spots that are 400 or 500 yards wide, maybe quarter mile wide, something like that. Maybe a little bit outside of that, but it just kind of pretty much diagonal run right through the property at an angle there. And I mean, once we get it cleaned up, I'm gonna be a lot more excited about it. See what it does. Rob, he's I texted him the other day, and he's like, man, I need to come back down there and do an assessment now. And look at everything, see what it looks like. And I said, well, come on, whenever you get ready. So he's going to ride down here one day.
He's chasing turkeys right now.
Yeah. We tried this morning. Me and Mike, let's say I went yesterday morning, heard 2 gobbles, and couldn't get anything. The only thing I called up was a hen, and she wasn't even talking to me. And I don't know if she just happened to be curious or I just happened to see her, but it was, it's been after this storm, I've seen a couple birds out riding around. Like I ran to the store yesterday and saw a couple in the neighbor's field. Saw one out in our field like the day after that storm, but that's the only. Hadn't heard a gobble. Hadn't heard them doing anything. So I don't know what the storm's doing to them.
Yeah,
or if it's just that time of year. I mean, they ought to be with a morning like this morning. They should be fired up.
Yeah, I had a guy tell me that we were talking on the phone, and he was telling me about, his place got hit, with a tornado one year, or it came through. It didn't really tear up anything, but all that high wind. But he said the day before it came in, he was turkey hunting. He said there was, heard 8 or 10 gobblers that morning. He said he didn't hear a bird for 7 days after all that high wind, that tornado came through. It was a solid 7 days before he ever heard another gobble.
And do you think it just throws them off?
I don't know. I mean, there's a theory there. I mean, I think they're spooked, because they're just trying to get their head around. I mean, it's like us. I mean, you woke up that next morning from all that. What'd you think?
Everything's different. Oh, I was like, I didn't know where I was.
Yeah, you just
it's like, wow, it doesn't even look the same.
I mean, I'm sure wild animals are the same as us. You have something like that. It's like moving into a new neighborhood or something. You got to get used to it. You got to look, see what
trails you took.
A lot of trails and stuff that our deer hunting is fixing to change pretty drastically. Around where that tornado come through, because trails they used to use are gone.
Yep.
There's big trees laying in those, so now they got to maneuver around those, so it's going to change and moving to the turkeys, the deer, everything pretty much.
So y'all, I'm gonna start hunting different than y'all. I come up with a theory yesterday. I seen that hen, and we got out of skid steer. My little beagle dog, she tracked that hen. I said, man, y'all can call. I'm gonna track. I'm gonna run turkeys with the dog.
Turkeys and dogs.
Yeah.
Man,
We need her to say something though. Don't run them fast. Just fast enough where she's pushing them.
Yeah.
Get around to the bluff, Malcom.
Yeah,
They're coming your way. They're
Did
coming your way.
Did you ever see her fly, or was she just trailing her, cold trailing her?
Just cold
Really,
trailing. Yeah, the turkey, then she crossed the road in front of us. We pulled up there and parked the skid steer, and my dog done seen it. I knew as soon as she got out, she beelined up there, and she got right on the track.
We need to ask game wardens. Is that illegal?
Is it legal?
They're in the turkey with dog season.
Yeah.
Like if you get a pointer,
Where's the turkey for
if
dogs?
you get them to where you get one of them pointer dogs, man, that get them covied up.
Oh man, that
Oh
would
yeah,
be-
if she's pointed at a roost tree, like just track what tree, know where there's at.
Yeah, just tell us. That's the one they roosted in. Oh, I
Take her over and drop her on the neighbor's property.
Yeah,
Don't
run
put
them
her
back
on
push them.
the-
Yeah,
Just tell her, hey, we're gonna have you a bologna sandwich.
we
Wait,
don't trailing dogs. We're pushing dogs. Yeah, we just want them to herd them to us. I'm thinking about that all wrong. I need them to push them from other proproperties to us.
Flush them this way.
So me and Mikey thought we was gonna be slick this morning, but I woke up an hour late. I called you. I was about 30 minutes out. Is that about where you were?
Yeah, something like that. Because
You said you were about.
I was getting off the interstate.
Yeah. So I got in, we met at each other. I said, I'm coming through that 4-way cold water. And you said, well, hell, I am too. And then you turned and I was right behind you.
Well, we got a road down that I didn't even know they were closing down. I went home yesterday and
It sucked yesterday.
I didn't even see a sign until I got really close to it. And I was like, what? The whole road's closed, like a main road going through our town.
Yeah.
So then I had to cut through this subdivision. Of course, 150 other people did too.
Yep.
It was just jam packed full of people, just one car through every stop sign through that neighborhood. And I was like, golly, man, it took me 20 minutes to get through that neighborhood. So I was like, I'm not going that way because everybody's going to work. They'll be cutting through there. And I was like, man, I'm on time, but that's why I'm gonna go back north and catch 69 and come down. Well, I wasn't thinking, man. I hadn't had no caffeine or nothing that morning. I took off 5 miles north to get,
To go south.
throwed my time way off. Yeah, to turn around and go south, but
We wasn't too late. I mean, it was, I'd like to be there before 6 o'clock listening. It was 6:15.
yeah.
It's about 15 minutes. We pull up to our spot over there on the ditch where we like to listen. Mikey jumps out. I ease my door open. Just kind of, Woods is waking up. It is getting a little daylight. We need to adjust that. We need to be 5:45 to 6 in the morning. But we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, man, it sounds like a daggum helicopter on top of us. I'm like, Mikey, tell me that ain't what I think it is. That joker was roosted right where we stopped.
Yep.
I mean, we couldn't have parked. If I'd wanted to get within 100 yards of his roost tree, I wouldn't know what to do. We pulled up there and parked right under him.
That turkey was. I don't know what he was thinking because I had the owl call out.
Yeah.
I'd owled twice and he was still sitting there. He didn't make a noise or
Nothing.
she didn't. I don't know if it was a hen or a gobbler. I hope it was a hen. But anyways, and everything's starting to wake up and nothing. And I guess he must have woke up, she must have woke up and finally seen me standing down there moving around. And this cotton picking turkey, it wasn't on no low limb. This thing was in the top of a 40-foot pine tree all the way in the top.
Yep.
And then when it flew out, man, it was tearing them treetops up, leaving out of there.
I said, well, we know not to go that way this morning.
They'll never answer another owl call.
Yeah.
They done busted me.
There was so much stuff. Everything but
Did
turkeys.
you order the peacock call? We're going to change
Oh,
over
I
to
gotta
the
get the
peacock call.
I gotta get the peacock call, man. I was wanting to take one of those to Texas with us, see if Rio would gobble at a peacock. But so we ended up crossing the ditch and going over, and we was like, man, I know yesterday the one I did here was in this direction, so we'll go check that out. We got parked, got the move, got all our stuff, started walking up the trail. I don't know, we probably wasn't 200 yards again. Yeah, you owl hooted again, right? Yeah, and nothing. We walked about another 50 yards.
Yeah.
Here come another one busting out of a tree. We done jumped 2 off the roost this morning, so I knew it was going to be a bad morning.
I was ready to take my shotgun, just slinging it freaking woods.
I was like, what the?
I was, man, if it's going to be this kind of day, we just go on to the house.
And we eased up. I don't know. We walked down another, 400 or 500 yards, sat down, called. Nothing. No gobbles, nothing this morning.
They've all been roosted in the woods and stuff like that, or on the edge of, some of the bigger fields this year.
Yeah.
And these jokers are roosted on the little narrow roads, right up against the road, just sitting there. I guess they're just pitching down right in the roads now.
They must be. I don't know what it is, because they hadn't been using those trees for roost all year. I did find that odd, because they've been down in the hardwoods or up on the ridges, and we kind of knew that, so you could kind of listen, and that's what I thought we were doing today.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to come in this way. It gives us plenty of distance to close to get to that hardwood draw where they like to roost, and then they weren't in there.
I just wanted when I told you I hated hunting on those days when the turkeys don't say nothing. That's why. Because you sit down and you've called and nothing, and same way with like locating in the mornings, you locate nothing. Well, now the leaves are on the trees, so you're not going to hear that turkey at 400 or 500 yards like we did early in the season. Yep. So you owl hoot, you move up 100 yards, you owl hoot again, you move up 100 yards out. If they ain't answering, they ain't even gobbling on the roost, crap, you done walked under them like we did this morning.
That's exactly what we did. I learned something.
But they didn't. No.
But, I mean, he wasn't going to gobble no matter what. We could have been on the – he should have been gobbling before we ever got over there.
Yeah.
Because it was still – it was 6:40. It was early enough for him to be on. I mean, it was daylight. When we were walking, we were kind of easing through there. I thought what we were going to do is ease up a little bit, call, maybe strike one, maybe not, but let them know we're headed that way, a little bit. It didn't happen like that, though.
No, it gets frustrating, man. When they get quiet, it's pretty frustrating. At that point, you're just sitting in a pretty good spot and just trying to call one up and hope one hears you and comes up that way.
That's something that I haven't gotten used to doing.
Yeah.
And I guess that comes back to being patient, just cold calling and trying it like that. It's too much like deer hunting.
Yeah.
When you're just sitting there waiting, hoping something walks by you. I mean, there's turkeys usually in the area or has been.
And that's
just trying to call them. That's not fun to me, man. I want them gobbling.
Yeah. If you just want a turkey hunt and you want to sit there and do that, that's fine. But I've told you this before that my thrill of the turkey hunt is hearing the daggum bird. If I call him up and just blind called him, I mean.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I did call him up, but there was no game played. You know what I mean? More or less, when I hear him and I'm answering back and he's answering back to me and I shut up and make him get nervous thinking that I ain't going to call back to him, and then all of a sudden give him one more and then he shuts up and he don't say nothing else for a while, he's coming. That's the game. And that's the one I like to play with him. Just sitting there calling on the edge of the field. And, like you said, it's like deer hunting. You just, no visual, no nothing. All of a sudden you see him just walk up on you and bang.
And shoot him.
I ain't going to tell you I ain't going to shoot the daggum thing.
No,
I'm just saying.
It's more than he'd have walked over that little hill I was watching.
Yeah.
I was looking for a head to pop up, just come up there and see what was making all that racket.
But that's what keeps me turkey hunting. If turkeys didn't say nothing, I wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't be as fun.
Nope.
So is the season in Texas, it open yet?
It opened last week where we're going.
And then Arkansas opens next week.
Yep. We're going there too. Me and Mikey got 2 trips planned.
Yeah.
Y'all are going up to North Dakota, but not the hunt.
Yeah, we're hunting some customers.
Yeah. But me and Mike, we're going over to chase some Rios. What would you call that? North Texas?
Yeah, it's
Panhandle?
North. Yeah, right. It's almost dead center of the state, but it's far top end of it.
Yep. So we're going over there for 3 or 4 days to see what the turkeys are doing. Last time we were over there scouting, we saw several. So I'm hoping this is going to be a success.
I don't know if has anybody turkey hunted over here?
I haven't heard if anybody's been killed. There's been a few guys that told me they were going, and we actually had a little phone call with everybody, and they didn't mention anybody killing a turkey. It took some damage on some stands over there too. They had some high winds come through.
Yeah,
they actually had an inch of rain, which was very rare for them. So we're going in. Everything's going to be greened up probably.
Yeah, they said it. What do you say if it rains, it'll green up, and then just a week, 2 weeks later, it's back dead again.
Well, I did look at the weather, so it's supposed to be like upper 80s. It's going to be hot for turkey hunting.
Yeah,
from where we're going.
We're getting in the bottoms.
Yeah, we're going to be down in the cool spots in the bottoms, in the shadows where the rattlesnakes.
We're going to get down there where the fog's at.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm concerned about is the rattlesnakes and scorpions.
Well, we ordered boots.
Oh yeah, you're
got boots in, and then I put my boots on. One of them won't zip down.
You need to do a review on them boots. I don't know if they're going to be worth the money or not.
Yeah, and then so Malcolm was like, well, put them on, make sure they fit before you send them back. So I put my foot in the other boot and zipped that daggum thing up, and then couldn't get the zipper down on it. It had zipped the way they made them, the material, it's like a zip-up boots like in Redheads we used to have.
Yeah.
And I've never had them do that I remember.
These are Rockies, too.
Yeah, these were Rockies.
Pretty good boots.
Well, the materials, there's so much material folded up in that zipper part where it'll open up.
I've had a pair of them. I know exactly what you're talking about.
How do you back them out?
I just kept fooling with it. It sucked.
Finally.
Man, we had a pair of channel locks on that thing trying to snatch the zipper down and couldn't.
I was afraid we was going to break the zipper or pull it off the thing.
Yeah, we just stopped and sent them back. But, man, doggone.
They got a new pair.
I was getting my foot out of it.
It ought to be here today, probably. Amazon man will be bringing it out.
Well, the bad thing is, I ain't putting them on until we get to Texas.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be sleeping in boots.
I'm going to have to cut my underwears off of me just. I ain't got the same pair on for 4 days because I can't get my boots off.
You're going to have to take a bath and your feet up out of the bathtub?
Yeah.
They ain't got a bathtub. All they got is a shower there, so you're going to put some trash bags on them.
I had to find some some of those Velcro underwears or something. I can't get them over the boots, get them off. Standing in the shower with my snake boots on.
So we won't be here next week for a podcast.
No,
y'all gonna do one.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
It's gonna be Will and Jamie and Mark.
Yeah, pretty quiet podcast.
It's gonna be a quiet one. That's all right. I'm sure y'all have something fun to talk about.
Yeah, Mark will find something to talk about.
Well, Mikey did pattern his new shotgun. You got a new 20 gauge, right?
I did. I'm trying out a different gun. I mean, a lot of people's got. I want to try something a little different than what everybody else had, which it's not too much different. It's a TriStar Viper G2 Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got mossy oak and it's called a bronze. It's almost like a tannish brown receiver and barrel on it.
No, they're good looking guns, really good looking.
What pattern was that? That was a new pattern to me on a gun. Remember what it was called? The shotgun?
Mossy oak Bayou blades or something like that?
That was one I hadn't seen. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, because I was like, because the guy that ordered the gun for me, I told him, he said, well, I got this one, this one, and this one. I said, well, I don't want that. Does any of those have mossy oak on them? And he was like, yeah, I get mossy oak on these. He's like, here's this one right here. And I said, that ain't mossy oak. And he's like, yeah, it is too. It's right there. I read it. I said, I'll be dog. I ain't seen that. I said, yeah, go ahead and get me that one. So it looks pretty neat.
So is it a dedicated turkey gun or is it like a multi-purpose gun? No,
so I did not buy a sure enough turkey gun. My 12 gauge pretty much is this short barrel. I mean, you could shoot something else with it, but it's a real short barrel. This one actually has a 28-inch barrel.
So it's full length barrel.
So it's full length barrel on it. But I did put the turkey TSS turkey choke tube in it.
Which one? Did you order one?
Carlisle. Is that right?
Oh, Carlson. Yeah.
Sorry.
I've got several Carlson chokes. They're good chokes.
Yeah, Carlson choke tube in it. It's a .55, and I'm shooting a 3-inch Federal Premium TSS 9s out of it. And then at 30 yards, it was wadded up pretty freaking tight at 30 yards, man.
Yeah,
that's the first time I've ever shot a 20 gauge turkey hunting, or I'm patterned TSS shot before, but.
What'd you think about the recoil and the effect of it? Did you like it?
Yeah, that one was nothing, because I shot when I first shot it, just to make sure the pattern was flying right. I just shot a regular, bird shot out of it, 2 3/4 inch shell. And it hit the target and it looked like it was a little bit low to me. I think I was peeping over the end of the barrel or it wasn't holding the gun right all against me when I shot. So the next time I put the TSS in there and shot it, and at 30 yards, it was off to the left a little bit, but man, it was freaking wadded up. The kick wasn't bad at all on it. And it's way, way lighter than that 870 I carry.
That's what impressed me with it, the weight of the actual gun itself. It can't weigh more than 5 or 6 pounds.
It's
light.
It's pretty light.
Yeah.
But then I stretched it out we moved it down to 40 yards and shot it again, and it was
Covered it up.
covered up at 40 yards too. So it's going to do what it needs to do. I'm excited about using it. May take it this afternoon if I go.
So me and that's what happened. Me and Will and Mark, we're gonna make the turkey population that stink down here when y'all are gone.
Are you, yeah, get after them.
I'll probably not.
Hey, we do have we've got a physically challenged hunt coming up
Yeah, we got a
into
guy
this
coming
week.
in,
Guests coming in
Thursday.
Yeah, so they're going. You want to talk about that? What organization's that one with?
Was it Mike?
Y'all remember?
Southern Outdoors.
I think so.
It's the first time I've done anything through them.
Are they the ones that do the super hunts for deer hunting and stuff?
We got
Tyler Robinson.
we got the information from Tyler on. He does a super hunt down there.
Toller?
Toller.
Yeah.
Toller. I keep saying Toller, and so we got the information from him on the super hunt, and then he put us in. He put Mikey. He gave the number to guys to Mikey, and then I kind of reached out to him and got it lined up.
Are they Mississippi people? That's
Yeah, they live around Fulton.
Okay, northeast Mississippi.
Say what, 2 hours from here, roughly, probably.
So they're going to come over on Thursday, probably.
Yeah, hopefully get up here Thursday, around a little after lunch, and
Thursday we'll do a little socializing and
maybe
get out,
scout a roost or something.
scout, or if we can get one to fire off that evening, we're going to
Get on him. Hey, yeah, you ain't going to make him wait.
Maybe we can get one down and sleep in the next morning, but cook a little dinner and hang out.
So with this hunt, we've got to get a couple blinds put out. We really hadn't been using blinds for turkey, but it just makes it easier access when you've got somebody that is a little challenged.
Yeah, because that was my strategy. Is like if we get out there and we don't get one to hit, and we set up and call. I don't know what his limitation is.
I mean, I
stuff
think
like that. I don't want him to just sit on the ground if we go to just like cold calling.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put up a couple of blinds in spots where we've seen birds, before strutting in the fields and stuff like that, and maybe be able to get them in the blind, and I'll stay out of the blind and call from outside, and maybe call a bird into the field, and they get eyes on something, get a chance to shoot something.
Yeah, it's through Southern Outdoors Unlimited.
Okay. I
always keep forgetting Unlimited part, but I think weather's going to cooperate a little bit better this week than it did last week for sure.
Yeah, they were supposed to come the day after that tornado.
Yeah.
That'd have been pretty rough there.
Yeah.
That's good
Did the
call.
Hope Outdoors, was it supposed to be scheduled for last weekend too?
Yeah, Hope Outdoors had their turkey hunt scheduled for last week.
They rescheduled it?
They postponed it because of weather also. I don't think they've set an official date if they're going to try to redo it or not. But
what about Keith? Did he come anyway?
Yeah, Keith came into town.
See it riding out those tornadoes?
He came into town. I guess he came into town Wednesday last week.
Where'd he stay?
He stayed down at the camp.
Wow, he was over there.
And then,
he got a show then.
Him and Brad went hunting. Brad went on and carried him out. I think Sunday. I think he said it was. I really hadn't talked to Brad much, but
but that was miserable conditions.
I don't think they wasn't getting the rain and stuff at Ashland like we was here, but they didn't have nothing.
Nothing, no.
They seen some hens, but nothing, no gobbler.
It's hard.
Yeah. We thought we were going into a hot week this week.
Yeah, I thought Monday, Tuesday was like guaranteed. So far, I have been skunked.
That tornado has changed.
It's going to open up. I got good feelings about tomorrow and then Thursday and Friday. So
yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit warmer. It was pretty cool yesterday. Wind blew a little bit, and wind's definitely blowing out there now. It's cool this morning, but I think we'd be good to go towards the end of the week here.
What do we got going on the contest? I've been seeing some good videos.
Man,
now.
we got some callers.
We got some callers. Yeah, way better than me. I put mine. Did you see mine on there, Mike?
I did. I seen you went through a couple of them.
Yeah,
he was almost getting like.
I called one out. of somebody's deep freeze. Did you hear it say that?
Yeah, I seen that.
Man, that old that sounded so good. That old butterball stood up and tried to get out of there. So that's my specialty there.
You see the one with the little boy trying to call to the tame turkey with his mouth.
I like that too. Yeah, that was good.
He was trying to get him to go. He's trying his best.
We still got a little more time. So if y'all you go to the Buck Junkies community page on Facebook. What's it called? The official name of the community page?
Buck Junkies
Outdoor Club. And you're going to scroll down. It might be pinned to the top, but scroll down and find the one where Mikey's holding all the game calls because that's what you're going to win.
Rolling Thunder game calls.
It's like there's 6 different mouth calls. There's a custom box call, custom crystal call or slate call, a hat. It's a whole like Rolling Thunder gift package. And you can follow those guys on like TikTok. They're on social media, but I've been watching them on TikTok. There's one of them that's been giving out some tutorials on how to blow a mouth call.
Yeah.
Different ones. He's pretty good too.
So the winner going to be like just a random name, or it's going to be the best call or the worst call?
We're going
if it's the worst call, I'm hands down, I'm entering.
No, anybody can enter. Yeah, you need to put yours up there.
Worst call.
You brought that box call. Did you not do a video with it? That was the one you made.
Nope, I didn't.
That's the one you need to do a video on. You need to do a video on how you made that box call.
I can do better at making a call than I can making a noise with the call.
Can
I
you?
can tell you that.
I'm gonna let Will do mine.
Will, can you call one?
Yeah, I'm all right.
We got to get you to do a video then.
That's what we need. All right.
Yeah. So I go
That's all you need. All right.
distress 10.
I can show you how to blow one off a roost. Just pull right up under the side to side.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change our locating spot now.
Yeah, we're going to start locating from a little further back, Mikey. If they ain't talking, they ain't talking, though. I don't know what to do.
I talked to a guy this morning, my buddy Darren. He said they was just silent. Nothing. I figured this morning it was like I said, with being cool yesterday and a little bit warmer today, it'd be all right. But no,
Oh, the wind wasn't bad. It was a beautiful morning.
no go today.
Everything was talking with the turkeys.
Every bird in the county was talking. Man, the crows was raising, all kinds. Owls was going.
Just knew it was gonna be a good morning.
But how long are we running that contest? A few more weeks?
Yeah, I think we said till April 29th or something like that, till the end of April, whatever last day of April is. And
These will be calls for you to use next year. You got a whole year to practice with these Rolling Thunders and get them right.
Yeah, you if you win this thing, you get a pretty good box of calls.
Yeah, that's a heck of a setup. Good package.
That's a lot of mile calls.
It's a lot of, yeah.
I was gonna slip one out and slip one of my old ones in there.
But don't broke.
Got a little snuff on it down in the back. I can frame that one.
That's a custom one right there. Yeah. It's been fine tuned.
Yeah.
Throw Grizzly. Call that one the Grizzly call.
Oh yeah, they got some nice calls, man. I got them out of the box and looked them over. They ought to sound pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well, keep sending in them pictures if y'all are having successful hunts, taking some of them birds, man. Let us see them, share them with them. We'll give you a shout out. I know some people have been posting them.
Yeah, because we ain't having no luck right now.
No, we're fixing to get them though. It's time. It's time for them to be on.
Yeah, y'all go to town.
I've let y'all slip long enough now. Y'all can't let me be the only one that shoots one this year, Mikey. I'm looking at you.
You looking at me?
I'm looking at you when I'm saying that. And Will's been trying.
Will's.
You gotta watch, Will. I done learned. I went with Mikey and Malcom. Like they set you up. It's like here comes the turkey, then they screw it up.
I didn't even take a gun when I went with Will.
Yeah, one like 30 yards out in front of me, and I don't know. I went to look down the the red dot, and it was like turned up all the way.
It was glowing. I told you
it was still pretty dark though, wasn't it, Will?
It just came off the roof. He landed like 40 yards out in front of us.
I did forget to tell you that this morning because you took my gun that morning, and then for some reason, depending on the intensity, gets reset once you put it back in the gun case. You always got to back that thing down a few notches. I looked at it the first thing this morning. I was like, yeah, that's too bright. Because with it glowing, I got the green one, and it glows. Yeah, it's intense.
I wonder why they don't it don't go to mid range.
You think it would reset it low or mid, don't you?
Yeah, where you just you were in between.
I don't know.
Instead of wide open.
You don't want it full 100%. When it's low light, like if it's early morning, like sun's just breaking, man, you can't see nothing but the glow of that.
Well, when I looked through that new one we got, that 20 gauge Beretta,
same way.
It was it was wound all the way up, and I just looked down through the woods, and that's what Zane said. He said you may want to turn that down if you're trying to look through it.
Yeah.
When it's turned all the way up, he said I can't hardly see them when they turned all the way. And I could see, but it was like that ring was so intense in there that
it gives you like a residual halo effect where it just kind of blurs everything where you can't see what's around it. Yeah. That joker's out there, Will. You just point it at him and pull it, though. Don't
I was about to.
He was pointing at him.
I knew he was about to shoot.
The hell, I was about to holler at him. Shoot!
What are you waiting on? He's on the ground, Jack.
He's down.
Gotta watch him, Will.
I didn't know if you could tell if I knew it was a gobbler. He's making too much noise.
Yeah, we were right under the tree when he was gobbling.
Yeah, so we snuck in there. We was within 100 yards of that tree.
Yeah,
sitting on him, and he was just over the ridge of us. He was probably about high level. It looked like. It
sounded like he was out over the hill, just a touch.
Going on the downside of the hills. We was kind of at the crest, but I don't think he knew you was in there, Will. He just decided he was going to pitch the other way. But that's pretty much got us for today. We got some work to do, and we're going to Texas next week. So y'all are going to be
Texas next week, Arkansas.
Texas. Arkansas will be the week after.
Yeah, we go to Texas, come home for Easter, and then turn around and back out again
for a few days. I'm hoping both of these are quick hunts. We can go shoot a bird and get back.
I don't know. Texas, long drive that is. I'd want to be not necessarily a quick hunt, but I kind of
taking some coyote guns. We're going to see if we can do a little predator hunting, a little evening hunting.
We're leaving at 4:30.
Yep.
We'll get pretty much at about 4:30.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you can bank on it taking 12 when you got to go through Oklahoma City.
Y'all carrying side by side too, so that'll be.
No, there's one out there. I don't think we're going to take one.
So that's going to add a little bit of time too.
We're just taking a truck.
Taking
the truck, and we're putting a little basket on the back of it to put extra totes and stuff on. And
everybody else rides around in trucks out there, so if something happens, we can just we're just going to take the whole truck around, I guess.
Yeah, oh yeah, if we had to, we could definitely do that if we had to. But well, you want to take us out of here, somebody?
Yeah. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all check out our TikTok page, Facebook, YouTube videos. We got some good videos, things like that on there. And like Malcolm said, y'all go on the Facebook outdoor page, Buck Junkies Outdoor Club. Y'all check out that Rolling Thunder game calls contest we got going on. Y'all go ahead and post something on there. We'd like to see your turkeys killed that you get during the year. So you can put that out on the regular page, not under the contest. But that's about it. We'll see y'all next time.
We will see y'all next week, or at least some of us will.
Yeah.
I wish us some luck out there. Hopefully we'll have something good to report.
See Will over here next week.
Will's going to be running the show. Yeah. All right. We gone.